There's 5 moments on the Death of Peace of Mind album that I can't stop thinking about. Not 5 songs or 5 sections, but like literally 5 moments, and some of them are only about 10 seconds long. Since I did the reaction, I've listened to this album like 40 times, and every time I hear the album, I'm just shaking my head at these same 5 moments. Is that a sign of an extraordinary album? Is that a sign that I need a doctor? And is listening to an album 40 times a sign that my relationships are falling apart?
Yup!
5 moments, let's go. So number 1 is In Concrete Jungle, specifically what happens at 2 minutes and 23 seconds. The song kicks off with these whispered vocals that are just building to a peak the whole time. And there's a chorus that starts at, I think, 1 minute 57, where the vocal is a little bit louder, but you can still feel like it's holding something back. And you get a sense of this swelling of, I don't know what, rage maybe? And then he sings the last line, the In a Concrete Jungle, and it's delivered like the monster has finally gotten out of the cage. But all of that is just build up to 2:23 when the drop hits, and the lyric is, I'm the fucking king. So that's it. That's the moment. It's not complicated. It's not subtle, but it's the most direct, like physical gut punch on this 15-track album, and it happens in the first 3 minutes. So the truth about that album reaction is I skipped a gym workout in order to listen to it. But the good news is the track Concrete Jungle went straight to my workout playlist right after that reaction. So even though I didn't work out that day, my workouts since have gotten better because of that moment in that song. Number 2 is Bad Decisions, and this is a bit different because it's not about what's there, it's about what isn't there. At 1:57, there's these metallic percussion elements, almost like somebody's in an abandoned warehouse just banging on random metal parts. And that's contrasted with this like soft and chill kind of vocal throughout the whole song. And that contrast is interesting by itself, but what gets me is what comes after that. And it's nothing heavy. So the whole song has this build, and you genuinely think it's gonna hit some heavy part and just tear your face off, but that moment never comes. And they resisted whatever urge they might have had to insert some kind of metal portion to it. And I think that restraint was a good decision. Number 3, Like a Villain, and specifically about 10 seconds of it. So at 1:58, the song just kind of lets you breathe. Like everything pulls back and it sounds almost serene for, 10 seconds-ish. Now 10 seconds isn't much, but without those 10 seconds, the build into the heavy parts and the ending don't have the same impact. And I think that's the trick. I think the contrast is the technique here, and the quiet doesn't exist just to be quiet, it exists to make what comes after hit harder. And what I like about that is that it's a decision that somebody had to make. They could have just cut to the straight, like heavy ending, the build right into it, but they didn't. They actually gave you that 10 seconds of air first. So I've listened to that transition like, 30 times maybe before I was even trying to think about what I would say about that part. And it still works every single time, and that is not an accident. Number 4, Somebody Else. Now this one unfortunately is specific to headphones with serious bass. I've listened to this album so many times, and I've done it in both these AirPod Pros, like the in-ear, and I've also done it with the Maxes, right? These over-ear headphones. Sadly, these things do not do the song justice. They just do not have the bass that these do. These guys are where this song really shines. When the bass comes in at 3 minutes and 26 seconds, the texture of it, the weight of it, you can actually like feel it when you have those headphones on. It feels like an earthquake. And I live in California, so I know what an earthquake feels and sounds like. So add to that the other weird sounds, sonar-ish, clicks, echoes. I think there's a breath in there. It's so deep and dark and soundscapey. I absolutely love it. That section is only about 20 seconds long, but what I want to do is I want to record those 20 seconds, turn it into a loop of like an hour-long track, and just listen to that, because I think it would help me focus for things like work, when you got to do work, or if you're, say, writing a script. But that impulse to grab a piece of that song and kind of own it because it's so good, I think that's a good example of why this kind of music channel exists in the first place. Number 5 is Miracle, the last track on the album, and I want to be very specific about exactly what happens at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. There's some kind of ghosty vocal going on, and I don't understand what it's actually saying. And that's just one detail in this section. There's a bunch of other stacked elements that you have to really listen hard to hear. And then the build and the horns come in, and there's these particular lines that I love. And it goes, so give me something beautiful. So give me something else. I need another miracle. I need some fucking help. I get chills from that moment every time I hear it. So in this case, it's the combination, the swelling of the music and the horns, those particular lyrics delivered in that way. And who hasn't felt that, right? Who hasn't felt like they needed a miracle and had no idea where to find it? All right, so that's the 5. But I wanted to add this section here because it was a comment that led me to listen to Bad Omens in the first place, another comment to listen to this particular album, which I love, and bought tickets to go see them live. It's actually in a couple of days. And so I'm gonna try to do the same thing and try to give out some recommendations for new music that maybe some of you haven't heard. So from this Bad Omens album, there's 3 songs that I think are just excellent rock songs that don't have really that super heavy metal part to it. And those are Take Me First, Just Pretend, and The Gray. If you like those songs, if those songs are your jam and you want to hear more music like that, my suggestion is 2 albums. Error by the band The Warning. I think they're fantastic. And the other is an album title that I'm probably going to mispronounce, Jinsei X Boku by the band 10K Rock. So before I did the reaction to this album, I was worried about it because many people in the comments said their older albums are a lot of screamo. And screamo I'm not into. So I was ready to just bail on that reaction by like the 3rd or 4th song, if that's all it was. Instead, I ended up adding all 15 songs to a playlist. And why? Because this album is the